Hello, all the warriors of light in the world of yours, yeah. It has been a long time, hasn't it, my friends, since I last posted a video about this game. I hope your journey has been very fun so far with the latest expansion that did drop out a couple of weeks ago. With the latest graphics update. Must be very nice to see those wonderful pixels, the wonderful shading, what it all has to offer. As for me, during this time, the last time we spoke, well, you may not notice it, but I'm still lagging behind in the main story of Shadowbringer. So the fashion fantasy video will take some time before it is all ready. So many new content to unlock for me just to get closer to new armor pieces, and that is all going to be worth it, I'll promise. At the meantime, while I'm working on that, I still have some old-fashioned outfits that I like to show off that was not in my main videos of fashion fantasy. Mostly outfits that I didn't think was worthy of the series, since it's not as outstanding as I wanted to be. Maybe you people will like the set about this simple Glamour video. A filler video for any pieces you may like to wear. Sets for myself that was against the rules, or pieces that I really like, but I had no idea how to make a set of it so far. And don't worry, I will tell you how you get those pieces one at a time. And as always, before we go any further, I have to say it again. Fashion is an open-minded thing, and see this more as a helpful guide for any pieces of armor that you like to make. Will it be a simple piece or a full set? With that all said, Sprouts and Moogles, welcome to this filler episode of Fashion Fantasy. Beginning with a set of pieces that almost made it into the main video is this Dark Knight base set. When I was starting out as a Dark Knight, I wanted to fit the role for it. Full plated armor that can be dark as possible when I arrived at Heavensward. Good thing is that most pieces, like the body and feet, are from Poetics, so everyone get their chance on it once they completed the main story of the first expansions. The hands are the 60 level job quest version of the Dark Knight. Gives it better off when you do recolor it all the way to black, compared to the PvP one that is also an option. It's just the shading back then was not to my liking. But the main reason why I didn't fully complete the set was because there was no really good headpiece for it. Also, looking back at it, the set was pretty generic compared to the one that I made it of out of the video where you do need to do a 24-man raid. If you want to go for a generic Black Knight set, feel free to use it, this as an inspiration point. A single piece for the tanks that I wanted to try out on tanks was the Tribes, Society quest. Simple daily quest to build up their trust for exclusive items in returns, like emotes, minions, house items, mounts, and glamour pieces, where one of them is from a turtle place where you had a nice offer for the body. Something creative for the warrior in piece that I would like to have if I was allowed to recolor it. There are not a lot of pieces in mind that can fit well with it, so not all works with green. One day I'll figure it out, but for now I'll leave it be as a half shell. Other pieces I had were exclusive Ul'Dah Grand Company stuff and square body for the paladin on the base game. One day I'll go back to it if people really like to see it. Hope you like scrap ideas for melee DPS, because in this section I have like a couple of sets that I like to share with you all. Starting out with 2 ninja sets based on classic ninjas with a small twist to stand out a bit more. You want to know why I didn't go for them in the end? Beginning with female Mikoto exclusive gloves, since they're the only ones who are allowed to wear them. I don't want to go with any gender or race exclusive items, so that's a big no for me. Second reason, in those 2 sets, it's a total of 5 pieces from the job quest, where 3 of them you need to build a not so cheap item for an NPC to have a version of those job outfits to be allowed to die. I don't think a lot of people like the idea of it, that you have to craft it. Not going to do that. Dragoons, I liked the idea of it at the beginning, until I was working on the Stormblood video, where I found in a dungeon a way better piece that can work together in the end. From a simple wandering dragoon adventurer, looking for a reason to fight after the Dragon Song War, or a dragoon guardian of the East. well, you know which one is way better to use for a fashion video. So, Dragoon Guardian of the East it is. Lastly, for melee DPS, I have the Samurai set, but that would be considered cheating, since, of course, the feet that you see in here are from PvP, if you want to recolor it, so that's a scrap for that idea. But most importantly, if you go to a well-known site called Yours Your Collection, where you can look at all the pieces of armor and every pieces that you want to have, how it looks, and if you go to any sets that people do post in there with the most loved samurai pieces, you can see it's the exact same set. I want to be as original as possible for every fashion and onward. Inspiration is okay, but stealing them is just bad. With so many DPS melee jobs that I have talked about, I'm kind of surprised I don't have a lot to say about ranged DPS. 2 full sets for the Mechanist, 1 for the Bard, and an item headpiece if you do a long side quest to help a post-mail Moogle to deliver some letters to some random NPCs for some world building, only to see if people are going to use this piece. It's all going to be based on the same sets. For the 2 Mechanist sets that I have, one is a Japanese Edo period soldier, where the body piece was based on the main story that you can get from Stormblood, only to be held down, since the headpiece, it cannot be the right black color what I wanted to be like the body. The other mechanic set was a scientist based outfit where I really liked the body of it, only to be overshadowed for one of the made one that I did for Stormblood that was from a 24 win rate. What can I say, I liked the coat really much. The Bard idea one was based on the face mask for one on the Crystal Raid series, where I had most of the pieces done, only to be stopped by the feet what would be the best for it. So I did scrap it and hand it over to one of my retainers as a reminder that one day I will finish it. Well, she's still waiting for it till this day. For the magic users, there are some sets that I do like to show off. Starting out for the Black Mage with 2 sets with the same idea, only both of them I had no story to write for them when I went for the sets. I like to write down a little story on them, how to make it more appealing as a true fashion designer. I don't mind to go back to it with those sets and rework it a little bit. And when I'm all done with all the expansions and work on some random ones for fun to show off. The Summoner one, it was a little retake on the classic level 50 set, only to be stopped by the body piece, since one of my rules, what I did say to myself for fashion fantasy, is to not go for the golden saucer. And would you look at that, the body piece is from the golden saucer. It is a harsh rule, but to make it more challenge to myself, to see if there were any items that we can make to make it as stylish as ever. And if we make any armor pieces based on one of those things that I did a harsh rule on it, we all wear only those pieces, and that's not so fun. For the last roll of the healers, there's not much to can say when it comes to my mind. I did a tribe healer set, but it was closely looking to one of the other ones that I made in the previous video, so I did give my second retainer that Glamour of a piece set. A set piece based on the Scholar headpiece to make it as crazy as possible, only that I do notice that the handpiece that I did use were actually from the Moogle shop called the Woodlands Hand, and one of my rules, like I said before, is not using the Moogle store. Asking people to buy real money to get some hand glamour would be very scummy to do for people who like to play this free to play or only use to buy it for subscription. The last healer set that I have for you all is this classic fortune teller skin for the Astrologian. It's all simple level 1 pieces that you can make from the market or a level 60 piece from the market board. I wanted to be as closely as possible as those fortune tellers, but I think that's a little bit on the nose for it. But hey, it is a good idea after all, right? And that's all the sets and pieces that I had in the backline that not became in the main video. I hope there were any creative pieces that you like to try out for yourself, or if there's any pieces that you want to give a shot at it that you never had a chance for it in the backlog. Anything is always welcome here in Fashion Fantasy, because in the end of it all, the show is about helping people to make their own unique set. Hence why I do say in every video, this is an helping guide. I just like to help people to make their own fashion with every job that we do get in every expansion, step from step over time. Before I go back to the main video edit of Shadowbringer for the next Fashion Fantasy video, I have a small announcement to make. From now on, every outfit that I do make that is in Fashion Fantasy here on YouTube, I will be posting the full set as well in a Yorkshire collection as well, for if any people want to have a closer look at it. That is not in this video, because I go a little bit faster since we do get more jobs on the way and I want to make it all as short as possible for them. I will post those sets also in there, so take your time with that if you want to know how it looks on the full Warrior of Light. I'm going to wish you all to have a wonderful time here in the world of Final Fantasy XIV. Take care and until we see again. Bye bye everyone. Bye bye.